I'm so glad you showed up today because I wanted to ask you, what is the difference between Midtown and the West End? Okay, go ahead, let it rip. I want to hear it in the comments below because today that's exactly what we're going to talk about. And we're going to get into it right now. So for me, Jeff Belzer, you're watching Living Coastal in Ventura, and I love both of these areas, Midtown, West End. We currently live on the West End. I was attracted to Midtown when I first lived here and got into real estate. That was the hot market that I was working, and I soon discovered that Ventura West End was a lot like Midtown, but just a little lower in price, a little more affordable, better proximity to the surfing beaches. Both are really cool. Both are dominated by Spanish-style bungalows and really cute historic homes that have these great, square and rectangular shaped lots and have the ability to build multiple structures or have multiple structures, conversions, duplexes, income, things like that. And they're all in this downtown setting. Midtown is to the east, and it runs along the sides of Seaward, and it goes down towards the beaches of Pierpont, and is just below Hill Road and Poli and the Hobson Heights. So Midtown kind of incorporates that. Hobson Heights is super desirable because you kind of have this blend of being in Midtown, but also hillside with views right past Cemetery Park, of the pier, and then Channel Islands in the background. It's 1, 2, 3 trifecta. That's the Ventura view in these alluvial fans of when these neighborhoods were built with these cute, gorgeous Spanish-style bungalows, except in Hobson Heights, they're much bigger, larger, semi-luxury homes. So that's why we see a lot of people gravitating to those neighborhoods if and when they can. But for people that are kind of hitting in the middle, they want to be in Midtown or West End and still be close to downtown. If you're looking for bigger 4-square house, the front yard, backyard, simplicity, quiet, a little bit probably better ratings in the schools, you're probably going to the East End. You can drive to Ventura. It's no more than a 5 or 10 minute drive from anywhere in town. So that's the good news about, if you're coming to Ventura. But the big difference between Midtown and the West End is that Midtown's definitely further along. It's squeezed between those nice neighborhoods of the beach neighborhoods, the hillside neighborhoods, and it naturally is going to appreciate quicker than what we're going to see on the exteriors being the East and the West End. Now, that's exactly what we've seen. Perhaps the Cunane track is one of the most attractive tracks. It's got very eclectic. Every home is a little bit different, has a lot of character and charm. It's walkable to everything, and it's just pushed up just a little bit away from everything else, so you get a little bit less of that train track riffraff that goes to and from the river mouths. So Midtown is further along. You have a lot more pride of ownership, homes that have been, developed and improved over time. And then the surrounding neighborhoods and shops. We've got the bodegas, we've got the wine bars. They really have a lot of selection, a lot more, grocery alternatives as well. Whereas West End is still on the rise. It's come over the humps of, okay, it used to be, really considered, okay, you don't want to live over there, you don't want to go over there. They've definitely had some negative connotations because while it was once in the 50s, it was really a special place. Over time, it had kind of gone downhill. It was always a working class neighborhood. A lot of those homes were designed for oil workers. And when you had certain economic resets, like in the 80s and 90s, it got tougher there. It also had a little bit more gang element to it. And as that's kind of subsided and we've moved into the 2020s, ever since 2010, we've had a lot of people, buying properties, pride of ownership, a lot of locals too. So people feel like it's always LA or someone else from coming over. But there's a ton of people that have owned on the West End, multi-generational. So let's not say it's all, but it's people looking for opportunity to improve and to do well. What I love about the West End is that you do have exactly that. You have people moving in, participating in the community, participating with different churches and giveaways and givebacks, contributing to murals and beautifying it. We're seeing some good restaurants come in. There's Indian Rasoy. There is Muni Wines has come in, Singing Sun, and there's a flurry of Mexican restaurants. But just all Latin influenced, El Salvadorian, not just Mexican, but, a lot of different spin with different flavors. And that's something that we can reference in this as well, another video for that too. On another channel, one of the Visit Venturas. I believe with munchies. So we're going to do a little video about that. But that's kind of what you have on the West End. It's cool, it's surfy, it's Hispanic, it's ethnic, and it's vibrant, it's beautiful, but it is rough around the edges. So some people drive through there and they'd be like, like this isn't for me, but other people are like, are you kidding me? Like this is like so civil and chill compared to, whatever huge city they came from. So it's all kind of like a matter of perspective. I grew up in Camarillo, and like I said about Camarillo, Ohio, it's quiet, sleepy, just not enough going on. Here, there's just enough of a nightlife. You can go out and see some live music. You can, go to, Topa Topa on the way home from a surf and meet up with some friends. It's where the lifestyle is. When you're looking for something fun, vibrant, it's really, really happening. But one of the things that happens a lot with Midtown and West End, one of the similarities is people go in there for that youthful lifestyle. They get a starter home, a 2-1, they end up having a couple of kids, then they end up wanting to move to the East End, get a bigger house, and then come back. Now that was traditionally how Ventura, because it was a real local market, and that's how people would move about. But now it's kind of like you don't want to give up your spot. It's like a really great parking spot, a really great place at a concert. It's like, okay, well, if I leave to go to the bathroom and come back, I'm not going to be there again. That's kind of how it is. If you've got a great place in Midtown or Hobson Heights, you don't want to let go of that. That's something special. So Midtown is usually going to win the battle. It sells about 10 to 20% more than the Avenue, but some people just dig on the Avenue, whether it's being close to the beach, whether it's the diversity and the vibe. But that's usually what I can tell is I'll take people to both. I'll figure out which one you're kind of leaning more towards, and we'll usually go from there. Sometimes it's price. If it's price conscious, you might end up on the West End. Now the East End, we'll do another video, West End versus East End. As typically it'll be Midtown. If you can't be on the beach, you can't be hillside, people go Midtown or they choose East End or West End. And I feel like if that lifestyle of being able to walk, bike, and get to things quickly, you're going to opt out of Midtown to West End first before going to the East End. East End is definitely, are you in Camarillo? You might as well be. I hear that all the time. If you're 3, 4, 5 miles from the beach, you might as well be 10. So we hear that all the time. But if quiet and, good schools is your thing, the schools are they're all good in Ventura, but they're just to get a little bit better rankings out there. If that's what's really important to you, then by all means, we'll go explore that. Now, one of the things about when you go to East End is that between like Telephone Telegraph, Foothill, which is just about the hills, and as you get down to 126 and spread out, it goes like a V shape, V for Ventura, and it gets wider and wider. So the density of houses, you get way more houses and way more selection than just looking at the West End. It's almost like 3-to-1. So there's a much bigger selection out that direction, which is going to keep the prices. It's going to subdue the prices, and there's a lot of reach. So going to different, if you need the bigger house, you get a little further out. If you want to be closer to the college, that's kind of another area. Actually, the hottest neighborhood right now is going to be the above college is the one that's selling the best. It's bigger houses, that mid semi-luxury, really nicely renovated mid-centuries in that area. And you've got these hillside views, probably the cleanest, nicest neighborhoods, a place where you don't have people coming and going that aren't supposed to be there. That is one thing that Midtown, I feel like, has more of, depending on where you are, but closer to the tracks, you'll have a little bit more of a transient coming by. Avenue gives off that vibe, but it doesn't really have it. It just has, it has some vagrancy, but it really doesn't have as much theft. It's a different type of crime. It's got a residual crime of some of the gang activity that's been there, but it's really not prevalent. You have to kind of look for it, being out late. But it's almost like there's more activity in Midtown and downtown that late at night. That's just one of the things that comes with going with a vibrant city. If you weren't for any of that, then, and you're not attracted to Ventura, the city, it might be East End or Camarillo might be the place for you. So that's my take right now on Midtown versus West End. We'll do another one with some fancier pictures that you guys will really be into. Show off some of these houses and show off some of these restaurants and lifestyle. But that's it for now.